For those that have been following the story, whether you're on the left or the right, the narrative was a group of skateboarders told me I wasn't allowed to skate at their park, so I bought it from them, and I own it now. It's a bit oversimplified and a bit of exaggeration as to what actually happened, but that's the narrative they ran with on the left, and it's funny because they got mad about it, and people on the right said, damn, Tim Pool, boss move. I wish that were the case. The simple version is there was a do-it-yourself spot that was privately owned and partially abandoned. Some locals skated there sometimes. We had been invited to an event. I offered up $20,000 to the event because we were looking to purchase and reinvigorate the town, particularly the skate park. And some far left elements got very angry, began threatening us, lying about what was really going on, to the point where the Washington Post actually ran a front page story. The skate park was thriving, then a right-wing YouTuber bought it. Tim Pool's purchase of an improvised skate park has riled skateboarders in West Virginia's Eastern Panhandle. It's all lies. And man, it really is remarkable how evil people on the left really are. Communists, largely. Let me start by saying this. The locals who actually skate at this park are friends of ours. We are not that far away from this property. We have a private facility, and they are invited to skate here, and they frequently do. The people who actually skate at this do-it-yourself spot, again, I talk to them periodically. I've given them some money for cleanup. They've actually gone and cleaned up the garbage. Where are we now? Well, I'll go through the full story to give you an update for anybody who's missing the context, but the gist of it is this. Literal far left elements who are not from the area, or at the very least don't live here now, have effectively destroyed the property, created a circumstance in which the city has lost it and they're livid. And I recently received word from the city that they want me to bar all entry to the property from now on. And it's unfortunate. But for those that want the quick update, they have been vandalizing the property. They have been smashing things, spray painting gang graffiti and racial slurs. We decided at some point, you know what? We don't want anything to do with it. We're going to sell the property. We're done. Because, you know, they can call it a win if they want. They can call it whatever they want. But I didn't buy this property to go to war with some crackpot far leftists. Our intention was to convert the building on the property into a skate shop and cultural hangout, a community hangout, like I used to have when I was a kid. You got a couch, you got video games, you got skateboards, you got snacks, some place people could hang out, shoot the ish, you know what I mean? And then you'd have a skate spot that was cleaned, protected, and maintained. That's why we wanted to build this spot. And well, a lot's happened since then. The locals there tell me that there are certain individuals that I will leave unnamed who have been coming with hammers and sledgehammers or something else and destroying things. Many of them have been begging these people to stop. I can confirm for you 100% these are far leftist political individuals. How do I know? They got in my face and threatened me personally at the local Cracker Barrel. I kid you not. So this is where we've ended up. And I'd like to say thank you to the Washington Post sarcastically for putting out fake news and destroying an effort at a community project, which now the city basically wants to assume control over and shut down completely. Now would the city want to do that? Well, the issue is the vandalism and violence. I'll run you through it. Update for all the skateboarders out there who are they got nothing else to talk about, I guess. We contacted a few major contractors and we said, we want to, on this property, build a skate park, and we're going to go about it a couple of ways. First, we don't want to touch the DIY portion. It's only a small portion of the space. The people who built that may want it. It's got a fun communal element, so let's leave it where it is. We will ask the people how they want to handle it. Off to the side of the property, because I believe it's about 5 acres, we will set up a concrete park and or wood ramps. We will then leave the DIY for those who built it, and then we're going to have a maintained and clean space. Well, unfortunately, the locals told me we can't stop them from vandalizing it. They're making things worse, and it sucks. If you put wood ramps there, they will burn them down. A few months ago, we actually had to show up because someone was trying to set up the property on fire, set fire somewhere on the property. This is what they've been doing. And so I said, okay, concrete you can't burn down. I talked to our construction crews and our development crews, and they said, never going to happen. We can't secure the property. It's going to take several days to do the rebar and the concreting and all that stuff, or however you describe it. And if they're vandalizing it, we've had this happen before. It's not going to happen. I asked them, can we secure the property? They said, no. Because, look, to be honest, even if you build it, they're going to destroy it after the fact. All it takes is a single sledgehammer, one strike to the face of that quarter pipe or whatever it is, or a ledge, and it's gone forever. And that's it. And clearly they're already vandalizing it. So I'm like, okay, we're at an impasse. Eventually we decided, you know what? They win. Let's not build a skate park. What we ended up doing was, in this video, you can see, I don't know if I can make it bigger. It's a video of me skating a very, very large, what's called a mini ramp. You can see it's massive. That was originally going to be, in some form, at this Martinsburg space. They can say whatever they want. We literally built it. It's not that far away, but this is in a private facility, which is secured by armed guards. We built this ramp, which was supposed to be effectively the public park in Martinsburg that we had always been planning on doing. When we couldn't, and we already had discussions and preliminary, I don't want to say we didn't sign any contracts because we didn't have plans, but we had a budget set with the company, and then we were like, okay, we can't build it. So what happens? This story from the Washington Post, I love it. It's about a guy who doesn't live here. Let me tell you what happened. So Allison, my wife, and I, we go to Cracker Barrel because we enjoy eating Cracker Barrel. It's delicious. Catfish for breakfast, you gotta love it. Some guy that I don't know is standing by the door with some woman and immediately accosts me and my wife, spitting on us. And then we enter the building and starts screaming in our face, insulting me, saying I stole his skate park. And I'm like, the only reason there's no skate park there is because you guys are nuts. He basically went on to say a whole bunch of crazy things. He threatened me several times. You can call it a death threat or not, depending on how you want to take it. But let's just say the words he used would qualify in court for a death threat. Something about putting me down if when I least expect it or something like that. And it's going to happen several times. And I'll try and be reasonable and say he was threatening to hit me in the face, I guess. But that is still a threat of great bodily harm. In court, it would qualify as, let's just put it that way. The woman he was with said the reason they opposed us was because we would make it unsafe for LGBT people. There it is. She was like, it was funny because she kept telling the guy to shut up. He claimed we bought the park to steal it from him, to flex, because we are rich kids who never had to work a day in our lives, which just shows you exactly where his mentality is at, considering I'm from the south side of Chicago, working class family background, bankruptcy, we lost our house, and I worked for an airline for 2 years loading bags, lifting roughly 50,000 pounds per day of luggage and having very calloused hands. And he held his hands like, look at these hands. I'm not kidding. He's like, look at my hands. You wouldn't know what that's like. So the woman with him told him to shut up several times. It was kind of funny. And meanwhile, like Allison, my wife, she's very pregnant at the time. So I'm like, why is this guy publicly in a Cracker Barrel screaming at me? But they laid it out. When we decided to build a skate park here, they were angry because it would make the park unsafe for LGBT marginalized people or whatever. And I said, what are you talking about? We never told anybody they weren't allowed to skate. We were going to build a skate park. And she was like, really? And I'm like, do you think that we're going to sit there every single day with security cameras to make sure trans people can't skate or something? Now, here's the best part. The guy says, you bought it to steal it from us. And I said, how long do you think it takes for someone to buy property? And he goes, 30 to 60 days without missing a beat. I'm like, uh-huh. And how long after we announced the money was the property sold? And he was like, a week? Oh, it's almost like we were trying to buy it for a long time. Some people, let's just say, I don't want to act like we had strong plans. It's all kind of loose. Like, hey, we're going to buy this property. Look into it. We weren't like drawing up contracts and blueprints or anything like that. We had looked at another place that used to be a pizza restaurant with a lot behind the building. And I was like, This one's already got the DIY, and it's largely vacant. The truth was, since Hagerstown, Maryland opened up a very beautiful Spawn Ranch Park, very few people actually skated the rather crummy DIY. So I said, let's kick some life into it. We're here. We live here. We want a skate shop. We want a facility. So this guy kind of had a realization. We've been planning on buying the property the whole time. We actually were looking at another lot just south of this property to build a plaza when, I don't know if it was him, but some other guy got in our face screaming at us and our real estate agent. This is the problem with the far left. The Washington Post doesn't care what's true, and they lie. And it results in the city now saying they're going to shut it down. So I want to give a special thank you to Gifted Hater. He's a YouTuber, and I guess they call him Weasel. Is his name? Weasel, I'm going to give you a shout out because thanks to your fake news efforts, skateboarding is worse off. I was talking to some of the biggest companies in manufacturing. They built our facility and they built the ramp I just showed you. Hey, look at me doing a switch flip on my mini ramp on the little bitty section. I know, I'm chilling. I'm an old man. This massive ramp cost over around $100,000. We were going to build a skate park in Martinsburg, but thanks to these evil pieces of garbage, they shut it all down. So I didn't really know if I wanted to talk about it, but I got a call from the city, and they were basically like, we want the authority to evict everybody, and you need to give it to us. And I said, one of the reasons I'm doing this video, as I explained, and if the city attorney sees this, he can understand. I don't know what actions they're going to take against us or the property or the other people involved. And I don't want to be behind whatever that news cycle is, considering this dude threatened to put me down, which I consider to be a death threat several times. You don't threaten to lay someone out unless you're threatening to use extreme force against them. I told them, look, we can't ban people from the property, okay? And they said, what's happened is homeless people are starting to take it over and it's becoming disgusting. And I said, yeah, well, we tried to redo and secure the property, but there's a guy in the city who's actively working against us. And I named him, though the extent to what he's doing is only hearsay from other people, so I'll leave his name out of it. And I said, we can't even go to the property. When we've skated there and the locals there are our friends, but now they've escalated threats against us to where he's actually physically threatened me to my face. We couldn't even eat at Cracker Barrel. The dude was like, how dare you eat at Cracker Barrel? He's like, go eat somewhere more expensive. And I was like, what? It's like, what are we talking about? What world do you live in? So instead of building a park for the public, the project has been shut down. We quietly, without saying anything, decided we're going to sell it. It's impossible to function in this city. We cannot secure the property, and these people are constantly threatening us, and they are using the corporate press to lie about everything to make it all worse. I just want to make sure y'all hear this, especially you, Weasel. Hope you hear this. Here is a picture of the ramp we built, okay? We're 20 minutes away, not even, maybe 10 minutes away from where probably 10 minutes from where that park is, and this ramp was going to be open to the public. Think of all the people who are going to come and skate and film and build culture and community with a skate shop and this beautiful park, leaving the DIY untouched. But evil people like yourselves made sure that couldn't happen. And so it didn't. And what ended up happening instead? With the escalation of violence, the threats, the graffiti, it's fallen into disrepair. So now you may say, okay, why don't you do something about it? We can. What's the solution? Okay. Well, the city reached out to me and said, we want you to bar entry to everybody, and we'll take care of the rest. And I said, I'm not going to bar entry to a DIY skate park. And I said, yeah, well, homeless people are taking it over, and we're not going to allow that on this property. It's a maintenance violation. And I said, okay, so what can we do? They said, they'll get back to me. We'll figure something out. Considering I don't know what the city is going to do, I don't trust them because the county and the Parks Department apparently are working with some of these people. I said, okay, let's do a breakdown of where we're currently at in this store, which has been going on now for this is a year and a half. And I'm going to explain to you one of the reasons I absolutely despise what these leftists are. I got text messages and DMs from some of the top pros in the world. I'm on the phone with some of the companies involved in the X Games and the top levels of skateboarding and pro skateboarders. We are trying to figure out how to invest and expand skateboarding. These individuals, which are not a part of the industry, want it to fail. This is why we are enemies. We are political enemies. They say things like skateboarding should not be a sport. Skateboarding should not be in the Olympics, et cetera, blah, blah, blah. I don't completely disagree with a lot of the sentiment around the purity of skateboarding, but for the most part, we want skateboarding to be a functioning sport for America. It's in the Olympics. Every country is investing. So what can we do? We need skate parks. We need skate shops, and we need investment. And one of the reasons I have all these big companies and top pros coming to me is that, for one, we have launched an American skateboard brand where we make our skateboards in America. We are paying our pro riders more than basically every other company. We give them a larger royalty. We are building skate parks. We have built a private facility. These other people don't like it because they want skateboarding to be associated with the dregs of society. I'm not being crass, crude, or rude. They literally do. They believe it should be an outcast function that no one should want to be a part of, only people who are rejected from the mainstream. And so they come with hammers, spray paint, they set fires, they destroy the property, and the locals who are there are trying to fix it and clean it up. Okay, it didn't work. The city says we're not tolerating this anymore. Okay. Well, I said like 6-7 months ago, I was like, we're just going to sell it. You win, guys. You can have it. Whoever's going to buy it, don't know, don't care. There are a lot of people who want to buy it, and that's the end of it. This is what you get. This is what they want. The skateboarding world does not have the mechanisms to defend itself from these things. That's the sad reality. You've got these weaselly people that have prominent positions, and the way I describe it is, when the tide goes low, the scum is exposed. When skateboarding was at its peak and its prime, probably the end of the 2000s, people were making mad bank. The Barracks private skate facility was in its glory days. Now it's gone. Shut down. And nobody's expanding, investing, or building. Very few are. Braille Skatepark is gone. Whatever you want to say about that, the Boonies is expanding with investment and financial success. Yep, that's right. Boonies Boards makes a good amount of money. And so here we are saying, let's make skateboarding great again. But these people are trying to make sure they destroy it. And this is where we're currently at. So I tell you this, what may end up happening for those that actually care about this story? We may just tell the city, it's all yours. It's all yours. We'll sell the property when we sell it. For the time being, we grant city full enforcement rights. And what happens then? They're going to bulldoze it. They're going to shut it down. Why? Well, blame the dudes who are showing up and smashing it up and causing the problems that the city doesn't want to tolerate. Okay, well, what are my choices? Shut down the property myself, or just tell the city they can handle it as they see fit. There's literally no other option. We can't build a skate park because these people, who are not locals, mind you, are threatening to destroy it. We can't go concrete because they'll destroy it. So what do we do? Honest question. You tell me. Weasel, come on. Tell me what to do. You tell me what to do and we'll do it. Tell me what to do. You want us to open up to the public? The city said no. The city said they're going to shut it down. We had nothing to do with that. It's your homies, apparently. It's the culture and community that you want. You decided to go to war with the city, and now you lose. They did it on purpose, and they lied the whole time. They lied about everything. This is why we build private. Take a look at what we've been doing with the Boonies facility. We've had pro skateboarders come out and film. We just finished setting up our new studio downstairs. It's going to be great. We have a company coming in for the redesign, hopefully in a couple of weeks or in about a month. We are setting up events, Boonies Bounties. We have started a contest series that pays $200 to the winner of the Boonies Bounties contest. We've been doing everything we've been saying we're doing. So ask yourself this, to everybody out there who watches Weasel, who goes on Slap forums, ask yourselves, who was telling the truth the whole time? The park that's been destroyed, or the guy who literally built the $100,000 mini ramp that didn't need to be here on my lawn? It could have been there where we wanted it. The guy who's giving away $200 a month to any skater who submits a video, who is building a new private facility, investing in a skateboard company. Y'all are evil people. You have done everything to burn this down, and I know why. Because like I said, when the tide goes low, the scum gets exposed. And these people know that if we bring a resurgence to the community in skateboarding, inspire new skateboarders, bring back the culture to its peak, they know they will be washed out because they thrive off of hatred and jealousy and envy and scum. That's it. That's all they exist for. Some of the most prominent figures in skateboard media right now exist only to insult people and destroy the community. And that's what they've been doing. Well, I got news for you. I don't care. I put this video out to basically give you the lowdown. We haven't been building on the Martinsburg property, and we intend to sell it. But guess what? We got a 2, 3, 4 step up $100,000 mini ramp. We're building another $150,000 addition, remodel/addition to upgrade the park. We are already working on preliminary designs for a mini mega ramp and more to come. We recently had a couple of pro pogo stickers come out. I don't know if I have this video pulled up. Maybe I do somewhere. Let me scroll to the top of my Instagram and show you. Do I have it here, actually? Take a look at this video. Here's a guy in a pogo stick. He did a front flip over the Cybertruck. We're having a good time. We're going to keep supporting. We're going to keep building. And we are going to make action sports great again. There you go. Pogo stick front flip. Look at that. And this video has got over 500,000 views. There's nothing you can do to stop us. So, what's the point of the video? An update. To be honest, getting ahead of the press because the city called me and said, we're not tolerating these people anymore. I mean, look, you go and smash up a property so often, eventually they're going to say, this has to stop. I told them, I was like, why don't you stop them then? Have the police come and do something about it. Because I'm sick of it. I said, so long as the county is working with these people, I'm not interested in being involved. I even offered the city hundreds of thousands of dollars to build a skate park. But you know what? To be fair, as far as the city's concerned, I don't actually know where they're at with the skate park because I've talked to them and they've basically just been doing nothing because they probably don't want to do it. They kind of do. But these people, I'll tell you this. You want to know why they haven't put up a skate park yet? It is because of this. You cannot have, I'll put it this way. So I hope Weasel and the rest of his ilk hear this. You go to the city and say, please invest $300,000 in a skate park. They say, okay. Privately, they go to their board meeting and say, should we allocate public funds from the county? I said, you go to the county and they say, well, what about the existing park that was built? Yeah, I don't know. It's not that good, I guess. And they want a clean facility. They say, okay. What happens if it gets destroyed? What happens if the park gets messed up? What if people come and they graffiti it? What if they come and they sell drugs? And that's a good point. I got an idea. Why don't we take a year, see what they do with the DIY park, and if it's clean and maintained and stable, we build this skate park. Have you ever stopped to think about that? Because I got to tell you right now, I'm willing to bet the city is saying, I don't know what's going on with that DIY, but when an investor came in to build a park, they destroyed it. I don't think the city should spend this money. I hope that's not the case. But I got to be honest, based on the things I've heard, a lot of people don't think it's possible. And I hope it actually gets pushed through. But if the story is on the front page of the Washington Post that these people are destroying private property and you can't build a skate park here, why would the city want to invest if they fear it will bring a criminal element to the city? Good luck, I guess. Thanks, Weasel. I'll leave it there. I don't know how many people actually care about the story, but there's your update. Stay tuned. We got more segments coming up, and I will see you all in a little bit.